Welcome to the Aaron LeBauer Show. This is the #1 show for passionate physical therapy and healthcare entrepreneurs looking to level up their income and impact on the world. If that's you, then you're in the right place. So sit back, chill out, and let's get into the show.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Aaron LeBauer Show. Welcome back. For the last 9 years, we've been doing the CashPT Lunch Hour podcast to help physical therapy cash practice owners launch, grow, and scale 6- and 7-figure cash practices, which is pretty dope. CashPT Lunch Hour podcast started as a webinar series back in 2014. I knew I needed to do something. Blogging was big, but I was like, webinars. So I just started doing webinar interviews of other successful practice owners. And then after 50 episodes, my business grew. I had more capacity. We put it up on iTunes and started the podcast in 2016. And since then, we've produced 239 episodes, been a guest on hundreds of other podcasts. Today is the first episode of the Aaron LeBauer Show. So we've taken a little break. So it's been a few months. The last show was right before PT BizCon 2023. And there's been a lot of things that have been going on in business and life, and decided to take a little break from the podcast just to give me some space, to put on a good event. That was planned, and it's just taken a while to get back. And I'll share some more of that with you in the next few episodes. But what I want to say is, if you're a physical therapist listening to this, or you're a cash practice owner, whether you're a PT, OT, chiro, someone else, and you want to learn more about cash practices and how to grow a cash practice, be sure to listen back to the past episodes. You can, scroll back through iTunes, go to the blog or YouTube and do that. But today we're changing it up, kind of moving in the direction I was already moving, and it's the Aaron LeBauer Show. So welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to tell you a little bit about, where I've come from, because it's not just about me, it's about you, but I want you to see if maybe you can connect with part of my story. Because sometimes when you connect with someone else's story, it gives you that aha moment. So I went to college. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I can tell a lot of parts of this story, but one of my friends was like, Aaron, have you taken your resume, the resume drop? And I was like, what the fuck's a resume drop? I didn't really know. I had dropped out of pre-med because I didn't want to do work that hard for homework. I wasn't going to be a management consultant. I showed up to do teaching in private schools, and they were like, why are you here? I was like, because I'm here for teaching. And they're like, well, you should have come last week. And, there wasn't a thing for me. So I graduated from Duke University. I went and spent a year in Israel. I lived there I was on a service learning project. It was either go race bikes in Europe or go live in Israel. My parents supported me going to live in Israel. And I wasn't really racing bikes at the time because I had some health issues that weren't allowing me to train. So I went to Israel for a year. And I came home. And I lived in Greensboro for 2 months, and I was just like, screw this. I packed up all my belongings in the back of my Jeep Cherokee and drove out west. Spent 2 months in Colorado living with my buddy Eric, working at Red Robin, and we moved to San Francisco. We got there and stayed at a friend of a friend of a friend's place, and there were 3 couches, and it was free. And my buddy Josh, who I knew from Israel, Eric from college, we all landed there. Eric had, did something. So he got first dibs. So he got the couch inside. Then Josh got the short couch inside, and I got the long couch on the porch. And it was an El Nino winter, and it rained on me almost every night. Not like hard southern, southeast rain. It was like this sprinkly, misty Bay Area rain. Okay, fast forward through being a temp, bike messenger, working in restaurants, and not ever getting a real job, and getting some interviews, but never getting a real job. I went to massage therapy school, and my clients, I got to go to massage therapy school and race bicycles, because that was kind of like the epiphany. It's like, if I work, I can see 4 people a day, have enough money to race bikes. And as I'm treating patients doing massage and myofascial release, people are saying to me, Aaron, no one's ever touched me or hurt. Like that's exactly it. Until I saw you, I had never had any relief of my pain or symptoms. And I've been to PTs, OTs, chiropractors, occupational therapists, acupuncturists, more massage therapists, the surgeon. I've had the surgery, and etc. And you're the first person to touch me where it hurt. And we're talking easy places like hamstrings, quads, traps, rotator cuff. I'm like, wow. Okay, so I went back to PT school, and I'm on my first clinical rotation. And I remember the day clearly. I saw 43 patients in one day. And I'm trying to help someone do some hands-on work and talk to my other patient across the room and correcting their exercises. I just knew that day that I had to do something different. And that's the day I decided to start a physical therapy cash practice, which means I do physical therapy and I don't, I don't sign contracts with insurance companies. Our patients can get reimbursed by sending in what we call a super bill and filing it with the insurance company. It's actually easier for the patients to do that than for me to do it on their behalf. But that day I saw 43 patients. I knew I have to do something different. And the next day I told my clinical instructor, I said, I'm going to have to start. I think I'm just going to do is take my massage practice and move it into a physical therapy practice and see patients. And he goes, no one's going to pay more than their copay for PT. And I was like, well, people are already paying me $85 an hour for massage. I'm pretty sure I can do $95 an hour. He's like, no, it's not going to work. You should think about something different. And I was like, okay, I totally get you, but let's chat in 3 years and see. And it was just that was the whole vibe in physical therapy. It's it's not going to work. You can't do it. So I started a cash practice in Greensboro, charging way too little, but I did, and I grew it over time. And what I started doing was sharing what I learned. I would go to LinkedIn forums. There were forums online 15 years ago. There was the APTA had a forum. These other education companies and other people, they were online forums. And I would just share what I was doing, sharing in the marketing sections, and people started asking me to help them. I had 2 people who I knew from PT school ask me for help. I gave them the whole rundown, and they didn't even say thank you. Someone said to me, don't give away something for free when you expect something in return. I was like, all right. The next person I had a call with at the end of the call asked, how much do you charge? And I was like, well, I don't know. She's like, what do you charge your patients? And at the time, I think I was $125. She's like, okay, I'll pay you that. And I wrote down there, okay, LeBauer Consulting. I launched my first blog, and I got a cease and desist and an invitation to speak in the Florida private practice section in the same month. So I knew I was onto something right. So I built my cash practice, and then I built a coaching business. The very first thing I launched was an online course. Actually, I launched one of the bonuses of the course, sold for $37, which last week sold for $1,000. Not because I want to sell it for $1,000. I priced it at $1,000 thinking no one would buy it. I sold 3 of them for $1,000 in the last year, which is crazy. The sales page is that good, but I launched a $37 product, this CashPT toolkit, and then I launched my course with help of a physical therapist and coach in the summer. Did $5,000 before I built the course, and then since then I've put 1,000 people through that course and made probably $1 million off of this course, most of it through evergreen webinars. Did that, launched a mastermind, and there's other little things in there. But now I have not only a successful cash practice, $1 million coaching business, and I've helped people beyond just physical therapy, which is really cool. And so part of the idea of this show is helping other people who aren't just physical therapists learn about these marketing and sales strategies and business ideas that have helped me and my clients our thousands of people take our businesses and do something that everyone says is impossible, because we have to really go deep into the marketing and sales to get people to come see you in a cash practice, because physical therapy is already a grudge purchase and now you got to part with some cash for it. That's the idea. Is I've already been talking about a lot of these things in general terms over the last few years or last 100 episodes, and it's to take this idea and make it more available to more people. This is all about learning business and marketing and sales. Physical therapy is just the way that we deliver the result. Your product or service is just the way you deliver your result. You still have to understand the customer, but new business owners think, oh, it's the CashPT blueprint. I'm an OT, that won't apply to me. There's very few things in there that don't apply to occupational therapists. And the things that don't are things that PTs still have to go and find out for themselves, because there's federal rules and there's state rules and city rules. There's still regulation. So the one thing that I remember thinking early on was that all I had to do was teach the logistics around business, and people would get it and they'd run with it. But over the years, what I've learned is that it's I'm more of a life coach. And so there's life lessons in here too. And so you'll be learning some more of the life lessons that I've learned to help you and that are already helping our clients, because it is like, that's what we do in our Platinum Mastermind group. And so we've got the logistics, but a lot of times we got to get people out of their own way. So there's a success formula, and I want to share it with you real quick. This is the real quick success formula, and it's something like this. And it's something I ask all of our Platinum Mastermind members and my private coaching clients to agree to. Actually, it's not a formula, but I like the way formula sounds, because it's not an equals and plus. It's just be quick to ask for help, right? It's like, it's hard to ask someone for help. You have to be around the right people and trust people. Just go ask for help. And then be quick to take action on what you learn, and be quick to share your wins and lessons. Because we wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be listening to this if I never asked for help from coaches or mentors. And if I never took action, you wouldn't be here. And if I never shared what was working for me or what I learned from the things that didn't work. Because remember, there's no failure if you don't stop. There's only lessons. It's only failure if you quit. So there's wins. Sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And you have to share the lessons. Because I'm better at sales because I teach it and share my experiences. So that's what this is all about for me. And hopefully on the other end, you can take these experiences and lessons and add them to your library of things. At least learn from the story in a way that relates to you and get some aha moments. Because it's not about me. Like, this is nice. I like talking to a picture of myself on the thing. But it's not about me. It's about creating more impact than I can create on my own with one person at a time in my clinic. So on the Aaron LeBauer Show, we're going to be featuring episodes about entrepreneurship, business, strategies, tactics, life lessons, other stories, and other things that are helpful, and hopefully some tactical things as well as some bigger picture things. If there's one lesson I've learned in the last 10 years coaching, is it 10 years? It's just about 10 years, 10 or 11 years coaching physical therapists, is that as a business owner, you're your own worst enemy and you're the bottleneck in your business. Like, truly, you look for the bottleneck, it's you, it's me. Like I said, it's funny, I feel like I do more life coaching these days than actual business coaching, but it is because at a certain level, it's beyond the tactics. It's about understanding why, what's going to motivate you to get up every day to do the work and do it when you don't want to, because it's not always about the end goal. It's about enjoying the journey and enjoying problem solving along the way. Because if you enjoy the problem solving along the way, you can take your business really far. If you're only concerned with making 6 figures or making 7 figures or whatever, and then you get there, you're like, okay, what next, right? It's got to be about the journey. Look, don't get me wrong. We teach plenty of tactics and strategies in our programs and coaching groups. I just thought that's what was going to be helpful, but people can't follow them unless they know why. And that's something I've learned over the last few years. It's mindset and belief and surrounding ourselves with the right people and putting the right voices in our head. If I need one of my coaches a lot in my head, I just go, like, I'll go to Bedros' podcast and just listen to an episode, because I know Bedros is in my head. Or I'll go listen to one of Taki's recordings that he's put in our vault in the Black Belt and Boardroom. I just go listen. I got them in my head, right? And so hopefully, as you go along, you get some inspiration from having my voice in your head, because it helps you. It helps you move forward, helps you get some idea, some inspiration, connect with the right people, get another experience that's different than your own. Help you shed the limiting beliefs, learn the latest cutting edge strategies to give you the opportunity to connect with other people, no matter how far away they are. Like, I was in Hawaii last week and I met with 2 of my clients and one of the speakers at our event and friend, and I got to meet with them, but they're in Hawaii. I don't get to do that all the time. This is so you can have a positive and encouraging voice in your head every day, no matter what you're struggling with, what your problem you're trying to solve, what your next focus is. So like I said, I got back from 10 days in Hawaii. I was there for a Black Belt and Boardroom Mastermind event. Me attending the event to learn about my business and grow and unbottleneck my business. And I've got that. I've figured it out, and it was a whole lot less complicated than I thought. I was sitting at a table full of people, and I've got my 8 minutes, and I know my problem, and I know my question, and I'm like, here's my problem. How do I get my business past this thing? And I was like, I could do this really hard thing, that hard thing, that hard thing, that hard thing. And they're like, what's your, what did they ask? What's your cost per acquisition? I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I think it's this. And he's like, well, if it's this, he was like, if it's that, it's really good. If it's this, you can just run more Facebook ads. Or if it's that, and I just didn't have that number. I didn't know. I was like, oh, I need to be more on top of my metrics. So that's what I've been working on this week. To a certain point, metrics don't matter. And then at a certain point, they really do. But that's a whole lot easier than the other options I had been considering and hadn't done yet because I was like, wow, these are so hard. I was there to make my business better. It was 4.5 days. I decided to go longer. I met with some clients, did some other coaching, and I surfed every day, which is amazing. But if there's one thing that's still true, it's you're the sum of the people you surround yourself with the most. And being there, I knew I was in the right room with the right people to move my business forward. So one of the last things I want to share with you is to surround yourself with the right people and put yourself in the right room, because you need positive voices, encouraging relationships and friendships and people to pull you forward rather than hold you back. And remember this, in business, speed wins, progress over perfection, and 80% is good enough. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.